Well, first of all, thank you everyone for attending this second part of our exploitation plans course. Just a quick overview of the contents that we delivered yesterday and the points that we will address today, this morning, in this new session. Well, yes, first, yesterday we introduced the concepts behind the exploitation, protection, and ownership of research results. The session was quite theoretical in some parts. In another parts, we were just introducing what we are going now to see more in detail, more practical terms, more practical questions on what should be addressed in our exploitation plans. And then we also explain the rationale behind the exploitation plans in HBP. We try to clarify what are the HBP results, because we have results, as you know, of a very different nature. We introduce the technology catalog that we have developed in the innovation team. We gave an overview of maturity assessment levels, maturity level assessment that was refreshing somehow what was delivered in the last course that we delivered 1 month ago, the tutorial course. So we refresh some of these things because are really important for the exploitation plans. We explain also some exploitability criteria that we use in order to decide, not us, but together in a dialogue with the different research groups, what are the criteria that should be taken into account before including a technology that you are doing in the catalog, and also the technologies that deserves to be an object of exploitation plan. So introduce this criteria, and finally we were explaining a little bit about the Innovation Radar initiative for the Commission that is fulfilled, and it's an information that we normally request at the end of the different phases in HGA in HBP. So the next time will be at the end of HGA 3. Today we are going to go through different aspects of the exploitation plans. That is the guidelines for the basic plan for exploitation. Then we will show you some complementary works that we do in our team, just to support you in these exploitation plans and beyond these exploitation plans in your working plans. That is the market analysis and road mapping studies that we develop. Our team develops in relation with different and relevant areas, scientific and technology areas of HBP. And finally, the third and the last point of this morning session will be the description and the planning in terms of time of what is required from your side in terms of exploitation plans, when and what and why you have to make these exploitation plans along this year and the years ahead during the GA3. And I will finalize this session with the summary of the different services that the innovation team offers you, and that are actually described in one of our last deliverables in the work package 8. Our services are described, and I will give an overview on them, just for you to know what can you expect from our team, and where can we help you in different parts of exploitation. So let's start with the guidelines. We have 4 objectives of the exploitation plans. Very, very clear objectives that we believe that are necessary to acknowledge and to understand the importance of thinking in terms of with an exploitation orientation. That is the first, to analyze the potential of the technology, the barriers, the threats. What difficulties can you find in the work that you are doing, in the research and development work that you are doing? To anticipate the possibilities of transferring, that is to use these solutions in the real world. So to understand how e-brains, how the tools integrated in this infrastructure will be of interest for the new scientific, industrial, and medical users. So to anticipate, to think in the short, medium, and long term, but just to try to do things before they happen. So anticipate these possibilities. Third objective is to interact with the team and with other HBP groups from other perspective that is different than the one that you usually do. Just to take some distance from the purely scientific dialogues, and to try to foster dialogues in terms of practical utilization of your work in the real world, in the operational environment, and in the users environment, in the user context. So interact with your team, interact and to make meetings, ad hoc meetings for these purposes are really recommended, as we will see later. Fourth is to connect effectively with the new users. So in the practice, we are not just thinking on what kind of users can be the receptors of our work, but we will try to connect in the practice with them, because these users could eventually, one of the consequences of joining more users to your users communities, to the people that are happy to work with your tools. One of the consequences is that sometimes they and hopefully they will provide funds in terms of exploitation, commercial exploitation, with payment by services, payment by license, etc. Some of these concepts were explored yesterday. If you choose a right technology transfer modality, one of the different possibilities that we saw yesterday, and a right business model, we can get funds to guarantee that your research work will have continuity in the future and is sustainable. So these four main pillars are really important to be acknowledged, because they are behind these exploitation plans. 4 practical notes for this exploitation plan. 1 second, please.
Guillermo, maybe you can share your screen in full screen modus.
Full screen.
Yeah, because we see like a little screen for the next diapo.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Sorry, I thought that I was. So now you are also seeing the next.
Yeah, we still see the little screen. Yeah,
now?
maybe that's. Yes, now it's better. Thank you. Now we can read it very well.
Okay, sorry. Thank you, Papa. So I was sharing the moderator screen. Something I think so. Well, now you can see only one screen, no? Okay.
Yeah, now it's perfect.
Okay, thank you. 4 practical notes on these exploitation plans. Well, first, the group should nominate or have in mind a coordinator that help us during the exploitation plan elaboration process, and this person will lead the interaction with the innovation team and with the rest of members of his or her team. The plans, it doesn't mean that the plans should be done by one person alone. No, the plans should be made in a participatory way. So, because it's very important that the exploitation plan is made with the expertise of the researchers and developers that are really working and know in depth the tool that they are doing. So it's very important the participation of the scientific leaders, scientific assistants, everyone that can have interesting things to say about the technology and the work they're doing. So don't please try to do these plans in team. Nominate a coordinator, because as for the means of flexibility and to be more fluent the communication with us, we need a coordinator person. But don't forget that the work should be not the responsibility of one person, but the whole team. Second is the elaboration is a dynamic process. It's not something that should be done in one day or 2 days on one weekend, because the discussions should be and maybe is, and also it's important that during the process, even though we have a deadline that allows us to be more quiet and planify well our plans, but it is important that anything that it's related with the question that we will see later could be at least annotated and written down somewhere, because there are important topics to talk about in the plans. But so it is necessary to have in mind that you are going to make these plans, but during the process, during the preliminary weeks or months, you can take notes and to try not to forget about important things that should be mentioned in these plans. So you can, for example, discuss the plans internally in weekly basis or every 2 weeks or something like that. That's why we recommend that you even organize internal workshops to address the questions, because otherwise, and we will not like that, you will find a very heavy work at the end of the close to the deadline, and then as a consequence, the questions will be not really practically addressed. So to avoid that, please consider that these are dynamic and regular process to work on. Third, the exploitations. If you look at the literature in this plan, in exploitation plans, you will find that there is plenty of information, plenty of options, plenty of templates and structures, normally much bigger than the ones, or more complex than the one that we are proposing. Just the plans that you need to elaborate are small versions compared with a full exploitation plan you can find in the literature. So we will provide you with a template of 20 questions, 20 questions that are classified into 4 pillars that we will see in a minute. But this short version of a plan is something that that captures. I believe that we have managed to put in these questions all the essential things that a full exploitation plan should have. So it's a way of making you things easier. Well, to make a template, just to focus on a 20 questions, very straightforward questions, and consider that what you are doing is not a full plan, but it's a short version, because we understand that you are not a specialist, that you are not consultants, and we cannot ask for a fully fledged work with a consultancy orientation. But at least we need to address these 20 questions. The length of each exploitation plan should be around, that is just a hint about the length. It's 3 or 4 pages, but it's very important that all the questions should be argued, justified. Please don't leave anything empty. Say something on all the questions, please. Importantly, also to know that we, as I will mention later, but it is necessary to make an exploitation plan to address these 20 questions for each of your exploitable technologies. It's not a plan for the whole group, for the whole work you do, because it will not make sense. As the exploitation plans address is very specific opportunities for each technology. It's not the same opportunity that we can identify in one technology than another. So that is why we or the users are different. The people, institutions that we should approach are obviously different from one tool than another. So that's why we need an exploitation plan for each of your technologies. It means that in some cases you will have to produce 3 of these plans, and at the time you will have to produce 10 or something in this range. But please consider that all the questions in each technology are rationally discussed and addressed for practical notes. So from practical notes to practical steps, 9 steps that help you to elaborate the plans before. It's just an overview of the kind of actions that you need to do before addressing the 20 questions. First is to identify the technologies. Obviously, we need to know where should be focused on. That is something that you have, you really know already. What are the technologies that are you are working on, and which one are object of exploitation analysis. Yesterday, I show you the exploitation criteria. Basically, the technology should be over TRL4. That is something more than idea, something more than proof of concept. The technology should be something materialized in at least in a prototype, or if it's a software in a beta version of the software, or something that you can define as a TRL 4 at least, if you have in mind, if you use the TRL assessment that we showed yesterday. To identify the exploitability of these technologies, to also know and well, the technology should be funded partially or totally funded by the HBP, but also to have the acknowledgement of your institution that this technology should be promoted and exploited, so that you find the technology is commercially interesting and non-commercially as well, but it has eventually users interested in using them. So that is the first step, to identify these technologies. 2, 3, 4, 5 different number of technologies in each group. Second, to understand the advantages of the technology, to understand the problem that this technology try to solve. So it is a description of the technology, basically what you need to have in front of you to know what are the advantages of the technology, and to talk very much and very close to the people specialized and working in this technology to really know the advantages of that. Third is to assess the maturity, to know how far we are from the markets. Are we working in something very in a very seminal stage, very early phases of the TRL, or otherwise I am working in something that is really well developed and close to the market. To assess the maturity with the TRL checklist, that is something important. Please use the TRL checklist provided by the innovation team. Fourth is to discuss the exploitation potential of your tool with your team, and also beyond your team. It's important to be sure that what you are doing is something really innovative in the sector, in the area, to try to identify similar things being developed around, and to discuss with your team the potential of your work. Fifth, reflect on the intellectual property rights protection. You can ask us, and also you can ask your technology transfer offices, or anybody that any office that is working with your institution in relation with IP rights. Probably you have some partners or some professional assistants of lawyers working in IP, or similar actors that normally work around research centers. So you can reflect on the protection possibilities, and don't hesitate to contact us to help you in this sense. We have, for example, delivered a course on software protection in the last Code Jam event, and yeah, and we have different material that can be not only material but also links to different sources in the Commission. For example, there is an IP help desk that can be useful as well to visit if you have some IP doubts. So we can provide you with different material, different and try to solve your questions related with the protection of your work. 6, to identify the users, not only scientific colleagues, but also industrial users, medical users. Use your networks. Try to use your professional contacts to find people that can be interested in your work. 7 is evaluate the different business options, because not every that we do have to be fully free. Some functionalities can be to the scientific community, obviously by free open access to your tools, but other functionalities may be customized for very specific purposes, or you have to provide some maintenance to the tool, or in other occasions you are required to make some specific I don't know, documentation for a specific purpose or whatever. That is around the basic functionalities. It is a number of services that can be offered with a payment. Then you can eventually provide pay services, and that is a business option. But it is the kind of things that you should reflect on in these exploitation plans. Not only the functionalities that are given for free for the sake of the science progress to another scientific colleagues, but also to find ways of getting funds to finance our further research activities. And probably you will find ways of ensuring the continuity of your teamwork and the continuity of paying salaries to your researchers. So it is important to think in this sense as well. 8, to discuss with your team and with us, with the innovation team, how to approach in the practice the users, how to make the first contact with them. In some cases, you will find that you have a very interesting group of people or institutions that you will like them to know what you are doing, and then we can find together ways of getting close to them in the practice. Sometimes you prefer to do it. Other times we can do it together, and we can also in other occasions we can decide that we as innovation team make the first step and to try to contact them, to offer them what you are doing, and then to leave you to continue with the dialogues with the right people in this target organization. And finally, to use the template to elaborate this plan, to put in words, in writing, all the things that have emerged during these previous 8 steps. And then for each exploitable technology, to make this plan, because we have to inform, and we need to, and because also as you know, whenever you write a paper, you write something on your work, you will realize that every time you put in writing things, it helps to consolidate ideas, to make things, to reflect again on what you have discussed orally. I have this experience from my master thesis and PhD thesis. Whenever write it down, reflection, discussions, it is really helpful to understand what you are doing and to understand the things that you should change and to put and to organize yourself and planify better. So that is why it's important to put in black over white in a document the things that you have discussed in this exploitation plan process. That is the 9 steps. So now the template. We have 4 blocks of questions. First, description of what you are doing, the creation of your technology. Second, to think about the impact and the application of your technology in beyond HBP, beyond your lab, beyond your personal and professional environment. How do you envisage the future of geotechnology and how will impact the different communities, how to manage that innovation management. We are going to deliver an innovation management focus course next year as a part of this innovation team education program series. And finally, the users, to think about the users and to find ways, practical ways to approach them with reasonable possibilities of success. So this is the 4 pillars. The first pillar, description, consists of 4 questions. First one is describe the technology. What is the problem addressed? It's not necessary to be very long in this description, but at least it should summarize what are you doing, what is the purpose of your work. Second is competitive advantages of the solution above other solutions. Probably you can think, okay, well, I know what I'm doing, but I am not really aware of what is being done worldwide in relation with this area that I am working on. So that is why we can help you in this sense with some market analysis, some horizon scanning analysis, technology watch, that at the end of the day are tools that try to scan all the promising and interesting initiatives that are being done by other people in the world, compared with in the area that you are working. So competitive advantages, you can only talk of advantages, obviously, if you compare with something, and then this something is what it is done around in the same line that you are doing. So try to talk with colleagues, to try to read, to identify in conference, to identify around what could be the advantages of other things compared to yours, and talk about that in this second point. The third point is contribution of the technology to HBP. How this is contributing to HBP through the 3 brains, or beyond e-brains, or out of e-brains, but in any case, all the technologies that are contributing are supporting other groups. For example, how the technology is absolutely necessary for other groups to work on, because it is complementary and essential for the work of other HBP members. And the fourth step is the fourth question is to make the 3L assessment and justify what is the time that you believe that is needed to reach the 3L9, that is the ready for the market stage of your technology. So these 4 levels, these 4 questions are necessary with respect of the general description of your technology. Second set of questions are those questions related with impact application of your work. So the 5th question is scientific, clinical, and/or industrial applications nowadays and in the future. What is the real application of your work? The next question is how this technology is positioned in the scientific area that you're working in relation with other things that people are doing externally. Is this technology aligned with the current trends, technology trends in the area? 7, what are the impacts of this technology in these communities? You can talk about technology impact, economic impact, social impact. This different perspective that you can talk here. You can think on, for example, on ethical aspects of your work. For example, what is the impact in ethical terms? What are the impacts in terms of well, benefits for society, for a specific community, even political impact of your work. So you can structure these questions around different perspectives: technical, economical, political, social, etc. So try to think. This is the pillar, the impact pillar of the plan. It is the one is more future oriented. Is where you are required to anticipate more and to work more with future thinking orientation, future thinking perspective. Management, third pillar of our questions. How could your technology be exploited in the practice? That is, here we find lots of concepts that we talked about yesterday. How are you going to communicate your technology advantages to the world without while ensuring and without avoiding any kind of patenting or licensing? Remember that yesterday we had an interesting discussion on the consequences of this clashing and showing to the world the things that you are doing. Sometimes this prevents you from patenting. In the software world, it's let's say easier because it is well, it is intellectual property rights, copyrights that are automatically recognized as soon as you create it. With respect of technology, patenting is a different discussion. But in any case, you want to communicate something, but you want also to protect your tools. So this kind of strategy should be addressed in this part of the plans. Don't hesitate. I insist. Don't hesitate to contact us whenever you have this kind of concerns, and if you don't feel very familiar or you don't feel comfortable to explore these IP protection possibilities, we are there to help you as far as we can, and we will try to solve your doubts together. 9 is options that you have to transfer the technology. Remember as well that yesterday we make a very clear connection between exploitation and technology transfer. Technology transfer is basically the materialization of exploitation. Technology transfer can adopt different forms. You can transfer, sorry, you can transfer your technology by license, by patent selling the patents to some people interested in using them, to by cross licensing. That is to exchange your license with another institution that has a license on which you are also interested, and that you exchange it and you share the rights to use these tools. Services, you can transfer your technology, your knowledge through services provided to different users. Facilities sharing, consultancy, personal exchange, for example, is another kind of exploitation. You can reach an agreement with that institution that you will, for example, host some people from the other institution just to know about your about your tool, and in parallel to put some of your personnel in the other institutions' staff, just to learn about their developments. And then that is a kind of knowledge exchange that is also considered a good way of exploiting your technology, because as far as you are transferring different functionalities, different know-how on what you are doing to other people, you can also you can get in turn, you can get even some contract to use the tool by this institution as well, or you can even use the services provided by the other organization. That in any case, this personal exchange constitute a way of sharing your work with the scientific and industrial communities. Personal exchange should be also made not only with other scientific persons, but or environments, but also with industries, with companies. It's important to have in mind that as well. A startup creation, you can decide to make a small company to exploit your work. That is a normal option, and a normal something that is very frequently the solution chosen by research groups to enter into the market, to create a startup or to create a spin-off from a university. In this sense, if you need a startup creation support, you can also ask us to give you some guidelines on what are the kind of things that you need to consider before starting this startup initiative. And you can also opt to use any kind of joint ventures alliance with big or small companies or medium companies to transfer to your technology. Once that you decide what is the option to transfer your technology, it's important to think in terms of economical terms. What are the business model options? How are you able, how can you manage to get some funds from these services that as I said you before, can be used to finance your research activities in the future? So that is the retribution modality. If you pay by services, by consultancy, special assistance to the users, customization, trying to solve together with the user, try to solve a specific problem that they have. Well, it's a matter of thinking in this sense, and to try to find ways of materializing in economic terms what you are doing. It's not. Don't think that it's a very pragmatic discussion. What we need to have here is something that it is really important for the research progress, because if you don't get this funding, the funding is one of the main issues that the researchers have in their professional life. Please use these things, these practical things that you are doing. Please use them to transform them into incomes that guarantees that you and other colleagues can have the possibility of working in this research for the long term. So this is important to think in this business model. Next question is related with protection plans. So in the question number 8, we were thinking on how to disseminate, how communicate, having in mind the IP things. And now in the 11th question, we are put in a plan. What are your steps? What are your actions? The actions that you are going to do in relation with IP. Are you going to patent? Are you going to keep the secret, your secret with a company to sign, for example, a non-disclosure agreement, NDA? What are you planning to do to protect your work? Or maybe you decide not to do anything. And then, well, yesterday we saw, we explained the consequences of that. It's cheap, but it is risky as well. 12th question is, what are the external and external collaborations, not only current one, but also planned and needed collaborations that you need to establish with commercial and non-commercial actors, not only companies, but also with other scientific colleagues, to co-develop the technology, to finalize or to improve the things that you're doing. Here, you can take a look for support. You can take a look to the ownership aspect explained yesterday. Yesterday, we dedicate two slides to talk about well, the implications of making things together with other people and what kind of aspects should be taken into account in relation with ownership. So what are the collaborations needed to co-develop the technology? I'm not here talking about exploitation, but co-developing the technology. Yeah, I'm not thinking in collaborating in commercial terms, but I'm thinking in collaborating for finalizing, technically speaking, the technology. Third, 15 barriers for exploitation. What is it's a short discussion, what is needed here to address the different problems. Here probably is the point where I guess that most of people will write worse and worse and worse and worse, because I know that there is in your research work, we acknowledge there is plenty of necessities from the technical, from the financial, especially financial aspects. Sometimes you need, or you have the resources, human resources, necessary for your work, but you need more expertise in other areas, or you need more money to finance some, for example, some scholarships, some people that are working with you from the academic environment, and you need to expand the time they're working with you. There is some other times we have legal problems to put in the market some of your tools, because maybe you are doing something that that needs some legal endorsement in terms of IP rights, for example, or you could have some problems related with ownership, for example, because you are not, or you are your partners, your co-development partners don't agree very quickly on the contribution that each part has put in the work, for example, and you could eventually have this kind of problems. So what are the barriers for exploitation? Barriers for exploitation could emerge everywhere, and you should reflect on that to talk with your team. Remember that this exploitation plan is a collaboratory and participative participative work. So try to address these barriers, these difficulties, and tell and inform us about them, and talk with us about them, because we can find together some or we can even intermediate or to work with all with you to find solutions to solve these barriers. We will do our best to help you in this sense. And 14 is funding strategy. What are your needs? What are the opportunities in terms of business model options? What are have you identified, for example, new calls, new international organizations, for example, that are asking for proposals to get funded, to fund them? It's very important to have a look around and in the funding investors and international institutions websites and journals, because there is sometimes many opportunities that about which you are not aware, but are there and are available for research groups to apply and to get funds. So it's important to have an eye on these opportunities and goals, and from time to time we from the innovation team as well we inform on different opportunities in the world that could be potential sources of funds, and we normally promote and publish these opportunities in our newsletter. And users, that is the last pillar, and we finish our 20 questions. Let's think with a user orientation perspective. What is the relevance of your technology for these communities, scientific and industrial communities, and medical communities as well? Well, identify the groups internally. That is something that is quite easy to answer. This question is how other HBP internal groups are using your technology. Second, how is the technology used by external groups? Here I am asking you about people outside HBP in medical, for example, trials or any experiments or any prototype check-ins, anything that could be made by another partner outside of HBP with your technology. That is the kind of things that you should address in this question. 17 is how this technology is currently used by final users, industrial, medical, clinical users. In some cases, you could have some confidential aspects here. And then sometimes the dialogues with this, especially when we refer to the private companies context, you may be discussing with a big company to introduce or to work together or to sell them a license or something, and then you need a confidentiality on these conversations. So well, you can simply tell us about this confidentiality, and then we understand it and we respect it. So this is something that as far as you can put, you can tell, you can inform, do it. But if you have any kind of these problems, just let us know. That is the 17 and 18 questions. The 17 question is more about the actual users. So users that are in the practice are already utilizing your technology, whereas 18 is existing dialogues for a future cooperation. Is more planned dialogues than the 17 question. Well, 19 question identified that is not existing dialogues, not like the 17 question that is present users, actual users. 18 is current dialogues, and the 19 is future dialogues. That is the kind of places, institutions, people, researchers, medical staff, wherever, people that could be interested in the future to use this technology or this software, and why these potential users deserves to be explored and to be approached because they have relevance, and describe this relevance. That is something that should be captured through the whole process, as I told you before, during the meetings to prepare these plans, during the conversations that you have with the experts in your team, and try to identify with name and surname the people and the companies that could be good, interesting users of your work. And then when you identify them in the last question of this plan, try to devise how we can approach them in the practice. Probably you will realize with conversation with your team that some of your colleagues have a direct or indirect connection with this company or this lab or these people, this person, and then try to make this approach a reality. Try to talk with them, to send an email, to meet them, join them. Now with this situation with the COVID epidemic, there is, in my opinion, there is plenty of opportunities to connect online with people that normally is not so easy to approach. I think that we have one of the very little things positive in this new paradigm of online working is that normally you are surprised the sort of people that you can approach online compared with the previous situation in which you need to find a slot, normally very little and very unavailable slots in the agendas of important people. So try to approach them, and I'm sure you will surprise of the results of this approach. So that is the 20 questions. Now I open the room for, we have dedicated 1 full hour to, I think exactly 60 minutes to explain you these questions, and I open the room now for your doubts, concerns, and suggestions, and any comments that you have. I'm not sure, Barbara, if you have taken notes of, or you can also share with us the questions in the chat, because I am not looking at that. So, any questions about this presentation?
Guillermo?
Yes?
I don't know if you mentioned before, but what is the timeline to prepare this, at least the first exploitation plans? And I think that it will be to be prepared at work package level?
It's something that I will explain later.
Okay.
Yes. Now I would like to have 10 minutes or 15 minutes time for questions related with the contents, and then we will go later through the timeline and so on. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So I understand that, I mean, this questionnaire should be worked by partner, right? Because, for example, we have around 32 partners in work package 2. So this internal discussion should be at the partner level.
Mm-hmm.
And the coordinator should gather this information, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yes. For each exploitable technology, for each one, we should have a person that help the coordinator to collect the information and to put in these questions, just to, because the coordinator should be in contact with the different groups working in this technology.
Okay, and just to understand how it should be structured. So the work package leader should nominate, or how is this coordinator will be defined? Because this is the first step, right? To define at work package level who will be the coordinator, and then to establish maybe one contact point per partner. How do you plan to do this, or do you have a proposal, or the work package leader will be in charge of defining this?
Well, I recommend that the work package, one person from the work package level should be the coordinator of the different technologies, but we have not a preference. We don't mind that it is a work package manager who do this coordination, because the answering of the questions itself, it is something that should be done by the person of the group, or the group of persons that are really working in this technology at the daily basis, that know very well what are they doing in this technology, and then the person that will eventually take all these questions from the different groups and put it together and interact with us could be at the work package level, for example, a work package manager, for example. But the answers, obviously, if you are work package manager of work package 2, for example, obviously we are not asking you. You're Patricia, no? Yeah, Patricia.
Yes.
Because I'm not looking the faces, or I am not looking that. You as work package manager of work package 2, you have not to answer, even to know how to answer these questions, obviously, but you need to coordinate, you or somebody at the work package level. It doesn't necessary to be the work package manager, but somebody has to coordinate the fulfilling of these questions by each technology group, the group that is really working in this technology, in this solution. If the solution at the in turn, if the solution obviously is a co-development of different partners, at least, and always happens that there is a leader of this technology, the person that really is the let's say the owner, in brackets, the owner of this technology. This guy is the one that is able to answer these questions, and some of them require that he or she will interact with the people that are actually co-developing the technology with them, and answer the questions together. And then once they have the questions and the plans ready, we you as a work package manager can collect all the technologies and to provide us with this information, with these plans.
Okay, so now I have another question regarding, I mean, following your explanation, then at work package level, we have to identify which are the technology solutions being developed. So do you have some database about this, or we should ask internally our work package which groups are co-developing concrete technologies, or do we have already some map of these technologies?
Well, that is a very good question. I assume by default, I assume that being a work package leader or work package manager implies that you know what are the technologies developed in your work package. Even though you are not working, let's say, in the same institution or geographically in the same place where the technology is being developed. If in your work package, between your work package, there are technologies made in Italy, for example, that in your case it is the case. You should know what are the technologies that are they doing. Not in detail, but you should know the people involved, the people specialized in a very specific tool, and so on. So I assume, I need to assume that the work package people in charge of the work package management and scientific, not only project management, but scientific management, are aware of the things that are being done in the work package, because at the end of the day, you will have to inform to the Commission on all the technologies in this work package. But having said that, I have also to say that we know and we can help you, all the work package people, to know what are the technologies under their umbrella.
Guillermo, may I say something?
Yeah, yes, Barbara.
We do have a database of their results with the technologies, but this may have something missing. We may have new things being developed in HGA3 because we developed the database in HGA2. So to have a complete map of what is being done in each work package, we need the collaboration of the work packages. Well, obviously we have the grant agreement where we can see each task, but maybe it's easier if at work package level you provide a list of all the exploitable results, and so we may have to update our database in case something new is being developed in HGA3.
Yes, it is. So we have that is related with the last thing that I told you. It is, we have the database. We have we know, at least from the HGA2, is each sub project has very clear list of technologies that were under their domain, under their umbrella, let's say. And we can provide you with the technologies that in the work package, the new work package structure, the technologies that are under your area. But what I try to transmit here, Patricia, is that people in charge, people that is leading a work package, it makes sense to admit or to recognize that it needs to be aware of all the technology developments in this work package. So we can inform, we can help you to have a precise picture of what in your package is being doing, but it is also a proactive thing and task that is, in my opinion, is reasonably necessary to be done and to ask to the work package leaders. Okay. But we can give you the database.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Any questions in the chat, Barbara? I don't think so.
Sorry, I had to put on my microphone. I had one question, because you said that TRLs will be above 4, but are you referring to include it in the catalog and to create a technology sheet, or were you referring when you said that it should be above 4 to make a plan?
Yes, when we yesterday we described the exploitability criteria, and we explained that when you fulfill these 3 or 4 points, the technology should be included in the catalog. First thing. A second, the technology deserves to have an exploitation plan. If the TRL is over 4, because we are not going to make this time an exploitation plan for something that it is really in the TRL 1 or 2, that is basically a very preliminary idea that at this stage of HBP, actually there is very little of this conceptual ideas or developments there. As I showed yesterday, most of the technologies in HBP are now over 4. But it doesn't make sense to make an exploitation plan now with only 2 years ahead, an exploitation plan for something that is at the real of 1 or 2 or even 3. So that's why the exploitation plans should be at least something that could be exploitable in the short term.
Okay, that's clear.
The trial is needed, because otherwise we will.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's why it's important to use the trial checklist, just to find out where you are and to check that you are really working in something that can be materialized at least in 2 or 3 years.
There were no questions in the chat. So.
Okay. Any other questions from the attendance? No? Do you believe that the questions are clear, or any of the question could be not very easy to understand, to be understood? Okay. Well, then we will continue the presentation. Are you seeing? Barbara can see the one screen also.
Now we see 2 again. You need to finish this this modus. Okay, thank you.
Now it's better.
Now is perfect.
Well, no more questions. Well, what kind of support we provide to help you in this exploitation plan, the complementary things that we do, and that thing that is interesting for you to know, because can give you another the possibility of looking at the opportunity from other angles, and to discover what is around and where and how your technology locates in the technology area that you work. Well, we make complementary market analysis to support.
Sorry to interrupt, but I see my screen. I mean, it's like a Zoom, and I can't see the whole text. I don't know if I'm the only one seeing like this.
Oh, I don't see it like that. I only see the presentation in full screen modus.
Yeah, but I don't see the complete text. But okay, if it's only me, it doesn't matter.
Oh, really? Is anybody else having this problem?
Mine I see completely. It's fine for me.
Fine for me also.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, Patricia. It seems like everybody else sees the full screen.
Yeah, it's okay.
So it allows you to zoom in and zoom out the screen. If you press Control+ and Control-, maybe that should work. So if you press Control-, that may allow you to zoom out the screen.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, this analysis and roadmaps try to support you with trends, opportunities, new markets that are in the area. The analysis that we make are in the middle way between a very specific, between being very precise in terms of choosing the technology. So we are not making a market analysis for very specific solution, but neither we are making general analysis on the area. I want you to understand well what we are doing. So we are in the middle way to trying to be practical enough for people working in this specific technology, not entering in the very specific part of this technology, because will be not have advantages, or will be not be so useful for people working in the team, but we believe that we could not either make an analysis that is so broad that that give you not practical. You can find it not practical. So we are in the middle. For example, we have made, I will tell you later, I will show you what the kind of reports analysis we have made. We have made one for the neuromorphic computing chips, trying to describe what is around this computing philosophy. What are the main actors, big players like, I don't know, Intel, IBM. What are they doing in this area? And then with a more in detail focus on Spinnaker, for example. But we have not gone in a very precise detail of, for example, the let's say, the small design aspects of the chip. But the picture that we provide with this analysis is simultaneously useful for understanding the area and practically useful for the people working and developing the chips to make further steps in terms of exploitation. For example, as an annex of the report, we give a list of companies that are interested in the technology, with the website, sometimes with the contact person, and that is the result of a very intense work that we do, looking for, once we understand very well the tool, trying to find in the practice and real and practical information of startups in the world that are working in this area. And once we identify and we check that these startups are active, are still alive, and they are wishing to make connections with people around the world, then we decide to put it in the annex. That is an example that reflects how much the market analysis that we make are really practical, are not empty words, are not so general as normally happens in consultancy, in the consultancy world. For example, normally you find plenty of words that finally say nothing. Well, that is not the case. We try to be direct, practical, and to put in this market analysis practical things that really helps you. So this analysis helps you to identify market opportunities with potential users. We focus the analysis. So we want in HGA3 to address all the relevant areas of HBP. We are we are planning the next analysis. We have made some of them. One of them I have already told you, the neuromorphic. A second one, neuromorphic, is in process, and we have made others that I will show you now. But we want to cover all the relevant areas in HBP. We use analyzing tools like contextual analysis, drivers assessment, SWOTs, horizon scanning, trend analysis, risk analysis, road mapping, foresight, actors analysis. There is plenty of sometimes we also are likely to use business model oriented tools like the Canvas, agile methods. We are open to use plenty of other tools, but up to date we have made the market analysis that we've already made are based on this specific instruments. Very important here is to let you know that if you have any interest in this market analysis for the tool that you're working on, tell us. We are very happy to receive any market analysis proposals from your side. We can discuss together what is the best way to approach the analysis, more or less generic, more or less oriented to a specific type of users, with a specific tool that you can also suggest. So we welcome also suggestions on the kind of analysis method that we can use. We can even introduce here tools, more participative tools, like, well, to make, for example, for a specific area, some roadmap analysis, but participative roadmaps with based on participative workshops, for example. We can make focus group conversations on a different on a specific analysis of one area. So we are wishing to get your insights on any area on which you are working and on which you are interested to receive this market analysis. I think it's a luxury for a project to have a team that is ready and happy to prepare this kind of studies. We have now the resources to do it, and we have the knowledge and the human resources with the right knowledge to do it. The innovation team is very rich in terms of intellectual capital. We know how this analysis can be done, and you can also in the website you will find regularly updatings on the different reports that are available to be downloaded. So you can get different reports from there, and once one of the future reports that we wish to put there is something related with your technologies. So that is the concept of the analysis, and what have we done up to now in this respect. Well, we have completed the neuromorphic computing, the first version of the neuromorphic computing analysis. We are working now, and we will finish before, well, this month or at the beginning of January. We are finalizing another neuromorphic computing report. You can see in the ongoing analysis the spiking network modeling and training. That is the second part of our analysis that we are completing. We have completed very recently the virtual epileptic patient report. It is something that has been in cooperation with the Victor Girsa team, and we have shared some emails, some meetings, just to give shape to this important document, and it will be available soon through the innovation page. We have made a report that is still in process. We need some format and languages adjustments. We have made a report on the connection and the support that high performance computing and supercomputers can give to the pharma industry. So very soon will be released. We have ongoing studies. First one is Brain Atlas. We will try to give an overview of existing initiatives related with Brain Atlas and a strong focus on the HBP Brain Atlas. We are working also intensively in a brain simulation report with a focus on NEST. We have already agreed with the NEST people to make this market analysis. We have yet initiated, and we are actually finalizing a report on spiking network modeling and training. We are discussing the MIP and the HIP report analysis. We are just having conversations to start soon this market analysis. We are making some studies, transversal analysis of the tools that are that are emerging in HBP that could be potentially very useful for the medical for the hospitals, and then that is a more transversal analysis also in process. And what are the planet analysis? Here there are only some ideas. I would like that after this course we will receive many others suggestions that we can discuss, and we can decide together if it deserves to or it makes sense to do it or to wait or so on. But this is some of the things that we are planning to do during this next year. We are planning to make analysis of the potential application of an interesting technology that tracks in real time the behavior and real-time movements with neuromorphic computing. It has lots of industrial applications in the horizon, so it is interesting work. We will like also to address brain scale opportunities and brain scale applications, trying to find applications in the computing area, in the artificial intelligence area as well, machine learning. We are also likely to analyze the possibility of making an analysis on the perturbational complexity index algorithm from Work Package 2, measuring consciousness in different brain states. Very interesting work in Work Package 2. We will like to do an analysis horizontally on the potential of HBP applications to be used in the pharma industry. We have also had conversations with Work Package 3 to help them in market analysis sense, and we believe that after the open calls that have recently been closed, you know that the HBP have launched different calls for companies to engage the project. One of them has been coordinated by us, by the innovation team. That is the call for industry engagement, and from these calls, ours and other calls like the one led by Work Package 3. From these calls, it will be hopefully different initiatives that, even though they will not be awarded, could be potentially areas on which we could dig in and explore and to make market analysis. So in the area of modular biological learning and the human cognitive functions that Work Package 3 is working, we believe that we will find in the next months, not really now, but in the next months, we will have several lines and directions on which we can contribute with analysis. And we have also, in fact, I have a meeting very soon, next week, with people that are working in the photopharma area, with a very interesting technology that use light compounds to explore or modulate brain transitions. So it is the kind of things that we do. As I told you before, it's not just to focus on a very specific details of each tool, but trying to be to think broader and to think more openly, and to each of these technologies to understand their possibilities, required to make an analysis around them. and technologies close to them, technologies, alternative technologies, things that not exactly but similarly have been done in the world, and so on. And then to focus as a later stage in this market analysis, to focus very, very in-depth in this specific tool. So this is the market analysis and roadmaps planning. And I insist, if you have any interest and you think that this market analysis in your area are necessary, would improve your work, please let us know. There is the invitation. So something that I think that many of you are waiting anxiously, that is exploitation plans timeline. Well, here it is the first question, and the more relevant for many of you are when these analyses are going to be done during this next year. Well, the question is very easy, is March and September. March, because it is the end of the first year of the GA3, and September, because it's 6 months after the first exploitation plans. So every 6 months will be, this exploitation plan will be completed, hopefully, during 2022 and 2023 as well. But just to focus on this next year, we would like that you start to work in these exploitation plans in January, and with 3 months you will be able to fulfill the TRL assessment, the maturity level assessment, to know where you are. So please use the checklist provided. Start to work on that just now, because it is something that is necessary and needs to be included in the TRL, and in the exploitation plan. So I think that 3 months is a right time to fulfill the first exploitation plan, and 6 months later the second. As you can see, the TRL assessment row shows that before at least 4 months, 3 or 4 months before the exploitation plan are completed, you need to update the TRL, because it could happen that, hopefully will happen, that from one exploitation plan to another exploitation plan, your maturity, the maturity of your development or your technology is higher. So it's a good exercise to update the TRL, and because it helps as well to address better the exploitation plans. Well, in parallel and supporting that, I have included here two lines in yellow. The yellow cells are our work, and the green cells is the work that you are invited to do. It is your responsibility, and the yellow one is the things that we are doing to help you in this respect. So the training courses have been purposely made here in November and December, because you need to attend this course and to understand what we want in relation with the exploitation plan before to do it. So the TRL course has been already delivered in November. I delivered that, and more than close to 30 people attended. Then we have already given a software licensing course during the Code Jam. Then we are now finishing the exploitation course, exploitation plan course in December. So now, in theory, you have all the documentation, the rules, the suggestions to make exploitation plan. We will deliver a course in innovation management in general. covering many more things than exploitation plans. Remember that exploitation is a concept included in a broader concept of innovation. Innovation is something bigger. It's a concept much more bigger than exploitation. Exploitation is only a part of innovation management. But we will provide you with some interesting insights on innovation management in general in March or April, let's say, but tentatively will be in March. Then I think that is interesting that we will refresh these two courses, theory and exploitation, again next year by the middle of the year in June or close to June. We would like to give you the opportunity to understand better the funding, research funding world, the research and innovation financial problems that usually happens and how you can address them. What are the main actors in funding? What are the venture capitals, business angels, any kind of opportunity in terms of funding will be addressed in this course around September probably. And we will include in the next year education program some courses on technology watch, horizon scanning, road mapping, foresight, all related with future thinking. That can help you to not to do what you are doing and what are you going to do in HBP in the established or in the calendar that we have for the project, but as far as they are future thinking projects, future thinking tools, it will be useful for you to think in a very much longer term and to think about the possibilities of your technology after and beyond HBP. So that is, I think, is interesting, very interesting and important course and important knowledge for you to have. And the market analysis is also a tentative calendar, but that is the different areas that we would like to complete and address for next year, that they are located in different months during the year. As you can see, in November we have finished well, in September we finished the neuromorphic computing. Then we will have in December the second neuromorphic computing related with spiking neural networks and learning. In November we have finished the work in the virtual epileptic patient that it is still pending to be uploaded and to be shared with all of you. And then for March, more or less, we will have the analysis of supercomputers for pharma, and then sequentially we will address brain scale, MIP, brain atlas, NEST, real-time tracking with neuromorphic computing, and photopharma report. So that is the timeline. We will have some opportunities for questions and suggestions on this calendar in the questions time in some minutes. I want to finalize this presentation with a review of the different services that that you can get from our team. First service is support you in the elaboration of these plans. That, as you can understand, is more than making physically a plan. Is help you in general to exploit your tools. What are the conditions to use that? Well, you need to have developed a tool of interest for people within and out HBP. You should have in mind more than scientific people include industrial people, hospitals, medical people. Well, when I refer to people, I refer also to institutions and organizations, but that could be interested in using your tool. So you can access to get more information of this service. You can access to our webpage. There you will find a presentation on key factors to successful exploitation of research results, and you will in some days you will find also this course there in this link. And you can also contact the innovation team through Barbara or myself to know more about this service. That is the service on which this course is based. Service 2 is capacity building on innovation and exploitation research results. That is basically the kind of courses that we give you and offer you regularly. Some of them have been already discussed some minutes ago, and you will find them, a calendar of our courses and webinars, in the web page as well. Service number 3 is to help you very, very specifically in making the assessment of your maturity, the technology maturity, using the 3L scale. Everyone that is developing something interesting in HBP should do this assessment, and you will find this checklist in the link provided here. Service number 4, elaboration of technology sheets to be included in the catalog. There is an image of the web page where you can find the innovation. If you enter in the HBP website and go to collaborate section, at the top of the screen you will find innovation there, and within innovation you will find the technology catalog, national hubs for innovation, the roadmaps, the open calls, everything related with our work. And then where the red arrow is saying, you can see that the technology catalog, if you click there, you will find the different PDFs of the catalog of the technologies, the exploitable technologies that are nowadays being developed in HBP. If you have a technology that is not still in this catalog and you wish to be there, please contact us through Barbara or I, and we will let you know what is the next steps to be taken. And you will find this catalog in the link provided here in this slide. Service number 5 is market analysis and roadmaps. The conditions to use this service, as I told you before, is to demonstrate that you have a tool interesting for users, scientific or industrial users. I insist, that is not something only oriented to companies or industrial people. It's also oriented to scientific people in other communities, in other countries, in other continents. Wherever you find that there is a user for your tool, there is opportunity for exploitation. So if you have this sort of tool that has been partially or fully funded by HBP with a maturity of 3L4, that means that it is close or it is actually a prototype or something that have certain grade of maturity already. If you have this kind of tools and you have identified the advantages of the tool, you can contact us, and we could we could evaluate the possibility of making a market analysis that help you further in the development, in the exploitation of this tool. You will have this market analysis. You can in this presently you can download some of the reports through the website, and you can read it and you can learn also on different areas than the one that you work on. Well, I think that I have almost or basically finished. Just a mention to the Service 6, very, very interesting, very impactful, very successful initiative that you have made very recently is to release, to publish, to create, to publish an innovation newsletter. I have checked that we have more than 200 or 500 subscriptors now, registered people in the innovation letter to receive regularly the issue, the magazine. It is an innovation newsletter that trying to capture not only what is being done in HBP in terms of innovation, but also what is being done in innovation, especially brain innovation in the world. Sometimes innovation not really focus on brain, but innovation at the end of the day, but important things on important news on innovation for you to understand what innovation really is. And this magazine has been prepared in the innovation team. The next issue will be released in January, and well, I invite you that you register and know more innovation in the short term. There is here, as you can see in the cover of this first number, innovation prices in HBP. That is the first article that we have included in this first issue, and it is something that I would like also to talk to you about. This innovation prize has been conceived by the innovation team during this year, and we have made a proposal, in detail proposal of the procedure to award innovators in HBP, people and teams around these people. I mean, not only persons, but innovation teams, that researchers, developers that are working in HBP in something really interesting and being very showing really a good practice in terms of innovation, making something really innovative with innovation potential, with all the planning and the things that in a good innovation process requires. That is to know, for example, what it is actually their needs, the status of their technology in terms of TRL, in terms of maturity, what are the next steps necessary to exploit the tool. Have they identified users? Have they been really proactive in terms of finding users? Have they conceived any kind of exploitation or technologies transfer form? For example, have they decided to make a startup? Have they put the basis for creating a startup spin-off or creating a alliance with somebody else in the area to exploit the technologies? These kind of things are the things that we are going to evaluate and to award. The proposal, this initiative has been very, very well welcomed by the DIR. It is actually endorsed by the DIR. It is an initiative that starts now in January. Hopefully, we will nominate an innovator prize, an award, every 6 months. This recognition will be will be very relevant, interesting for the team, will give you visibility, not only in HBP, but beyond HBP, because we are going to publish it in the innovation newsletter that also not only have internal subscriptors, but also external people and readers. So it will give you visibility. I think it's very interesting for you to understand what the prize and the award consist. You will have more information on that very soon. And well, that is something that I think that is a very important to be said here, is the cherry on the cake of this course, and hopefully you will be an awarded team very soon, at least during next year or during 2022 or 23. So I think that is the last comment in my course, and now I am open for questions. So thank you very much for your attendance, and I'm happy to answer any questions related with exploitation plans. I open the room for questions.
While they think a little bit about their questions, I would like to share something with you.
Yes.
I put it in the chat. Mm-hmm. This is a collab that has been created by Work Package 8. In this collab, Work Package 8 is sharing their services to the whole consortium. And we have a section there too, where you can have a summary, a very nice summary of all the services that Guillermo has mentioned in his presentation. And there are more details than in the website, because the website is public as well, and this collab is only internal for HBP. So this is a good place to find out how to collaborate with us.
Mm-hmm.
Barbara, I was trying to open the collab and it says private.
Oh, really? Didn't they open it for everyone? Because they said that it was now available for...
For me, it works.
It works?
Okay. For me, it works.
Who didn't have access? Patricia, it was you?
Yeah, I'll try again, but it...
Because you being a Work Package manager, okay, Matthew, you cannot open it neither. Okay, I don't know if I have the permission to grant access to everyone, but this should be open for the whole consortium. So, well, it's a mystery why some of you can see it and some others cannot. I'll check, okay? And because everybody should have access if you have an HBP account. I'll check.
The group, I mean, this collab is visible for SEA3 reviewers and EC and HBP consortium partners. In order to be seen for all HBP current active partners, it would be recommendable to add as viewer SEA3 accredited members. That way, it could be visible normally.
Thank you, Andrea. If I don't have the right to grant permission, I'll ask the responsible person to do it.
Yeah, you don't have. It's actually Terence.
I don't have. I know.
Evan or Mark.
Yeah. I'll ask Evan to grant permission everybody, because it's meant to be accessible for everyone, I think. By the way, if you have something you believe is worth being included in the innovation newsletter, you can send your suggestions to us.
Yeah. Yes, this is an important point. Yes, the newsletter needs to be nurtured with everything that you find that is interesting, as far as it's related with innovation, that is that you find that is interesting to share with the rest of HBP community. So yes, very good point.
Sorry, Anna is asking if you are going to send instructions for the exploitation plans by email. And yes, we will. This is definitely something that all work package managers should know about. And we'll share this information with all work package managers per email. I already discussed this in the work package managers meetings. And very soon we'll share the template as well, the file with the template. So thank you to the work package managers here in this room for sharing this within their work packages to make sure that the template reaches the people that should be doing the work of filling it in.
Yes, I think that it is the work package manager is the right person to coordinate the collection of the different exploitation plans. Don't you think so, Barbara?
Yes, I think so. But as you said before, we give freedom. Also, in the first place, we will contact the work package managers with the information and the template. But if internally they wish to organize themselves in a different way and to have a person responsible for this, a contact person that is not the work package manager for this matter, they can nominate it. And just let us know who the contact person will be. I will include this information in the email, so that it's clear that if a work package wishes to have another person being the contact point for exploitation plans, just let us know, and we will be in contact with this person instead of the work package manager.
Yeah, I want to mention that I think that work package leaders are the main decision makers, so they should be decide on this. Yeah,
they should decide who is the contact point, but they cannot be the contact point because it would be not feasible to have all these changes with the work package leaders. So we need they should supervise that the work package is doing all the exploitation plans for all the relevant exploitable results, but then designate a contact person within the work package.
It's very important that that the technologies are properly identified and in relation with Patricia's question before. It's important that with the work package leader, the work package leader will confirm, and we will will check, review, and inform you, the managers, on the technology developments currently being done in the work package. Because, for example, last week or 2 weeks ago, we had a meeting with a work package leader that we provide her with the different list, with the list of the different technologies that we had in our database, and then in a very interesting conversation, we were able together to update the list with some things that that probably were not clear for us, another one that were not so clear for her, and then we come up with a list of the things that are really the ones that have been developed. And then it's a very starting point to make the exploitation plans, to sit with your scientific leader and to have a view of everything what is being done in your area. Some of them are very clearly identified because are match exactly with the SP structure of HCA2. And other times the work package is embracing another things that were not in the past in HCA2, but are the responsibility of the work package leader as well. So, but he or she should have a big picture and relevant a picture in his or her mind of the things that are under his or her umbrella. And it is necessary that it is very important for a work package manager as work package manager and people in management in the work package that are aware of these technologies, because it facilitates very much for us and for everybody the work. So I would suggest that it's a first step. Well, I put that in my presentation as a first step here. Number one, identify an exploitable technology within your research group. So every technology, exploitable technology, need to have these plans, and the best way to identify them is to talk with the leaders.
By the way, I will, when we send this message, I will include, I will CC all people registered for the course, so that you get the information too. Since you have registered for the course, I assume that you will be involved somehow in the drafting of the exploitation plans.
No more questions?
Guillermo, it seems like you left everything very clear.
I don't know. Well, to finalize the session, I will highlight for me what is the most important things that you have to take in your pocket after this course. One is, first of all, try to identify the technologies. Try to scan all your the work around you in your work package, and try to identify the technologies that you are, your work package is working on. Talk with the scientific leaders. Try to identify the tools, first of all. Second, try to assess the maturity of your tools. Once you have identified these tools, use the checklist, insist on us to help you in any step on which you are blocked and you cannot continue because because sometimes it's not easy, but try to understand where you are in the trial scale. When I am saying try, you try, I'm not saying that you, if for example, if a manager can have to do it, but the person that is the leader of this specific development is the one that knows better how to answer and how to fulfill this trial assessment. So identify the technology, identify the tool. For example, I will recommend you personally. I think that if I were one Work Package Manager, I will try to make a list of this technology and what is the right person, the straightforward and more useful person to talk about this technology, and make a list. And then try that this person will identify, will make the assessment of the TRL, of the maturity. That is the second point.
Guillermo.
Third point to take as an important message here. Take, for example, 2 weeks or 3 weeks to identify in this after you identify these technologies, try to inform us about the kind of things on which you require complementary support in terms of market analysis. Don't hesitate to ask us for help in this sense. So market analysis. So first, identify the technology and the person. Second, to know where you are in the market, to know the TRL level, the maturity. Third, ask for help for market analysis, apart from doing the exploitation plan, but it's a consequence of these 3 steps, these 3 main or final messages. And the last one, and then I finish, it is that please understand this exercise as something collaborative, something participative, and put on board as much possible as possible between your organization and ask for help and find support from the innovation team whenever you need it. So with these last words, thank you very much to all of the attendants. I wish to meet you all again in the during the next meetings regarding exploitation plan. Don't hesitate to contact Barbara and myself to prepare a quick meeting, even with very, we normally react very quickly to your demands. So if you need a personal meeting with me or with Barbara, tell us and interact with us, not only with your team. And I hope that I will see you all and many more people in the next course. So thank you very much.